multiple computers, but this will work to switch out the Warsaken with mockdraftnfl.com. And so this is going to be going up live on my website. It's not even up yet. This whole subpage, I got to load it here. So this is the draft order, the official order as per Tankathon. I appreciate what Tankathon does. I don't really know the people there on that website personally, but they have a very valuable service. I used to get these emails complaining about the draft order when I do these mock drafts when I started with DraftKings 22 years ago. And so I learned that, okay, you're better off having somebody else to take the heat on the orders. I'm not trying to pick the order of the teams. I'm not a bookmaker. Analysts that fell into this kind of crazy world of the mock drafts. And here we are. So number 1, Arvell Reese, the Giants. Really good pass rusher. Unique talent, can drop back into coverage. Number 1 to the Giants. At 2 to the Raiders, Fernando Mendoza. Now keep in mind, now I've caught some heat over this. I may have go over that after this as well. Not even heat, but just a difference of opinion. Where I pulled several of the quarterbacks with remaining NCAA eligibility from my mock draft. Now I still don't have them back in there. Now I don't even know if Mendoza for sure is going to come out. We'll see. Now, we'll see what's going to happen with Ty Simpson with Alabama. They're still in the playoff, of course. So is Mendoza. So is Dante Moore. Moore's the big one because Oregon has a ton of money that, even by the modern standards of NIL, it's a little bit different with Oregon because Phil Knight, in his late 80s, he is a wealthy man. We're talking billions and billions and billions of dollars. Now, wealthy people don't get wealthy by just throwing their money around pell-mell style. But Phil Knight cares very much about Oregon football, and it'll be interesting to see if they're able to keep some of those players in that are looking like first-round picks, particularly Moore. But I'll say this, to this point, there hasn't been a single FBS quarterback with remaining college eligibility to announce for early entry into the NFL draft. Bunch of players in other positions. There are more punters than quarterbacks at this point. So I feel justified. So that's the thought process with that. At 3, Cleveland Browns, Spencer Fano, offensive tackle, Utah, really good talent. I've seen him on some lists where he's officially in. I've seen some where he's not, but basically all the non-quarterbacks that were looking like first-rounders that aren't still in the playoff have announced they're coming in early. There are exceptions, but that's for the most part. Jordan Tyson, really good receiver from Arizona State, to the Jets at 4. Again, the Jets, they need a quarterback, but they're not going to have to. They can't conjure up quarterbacks. They can't conjure up opponents to play in Warsaken blitz if they're not there. They're not going to stretch to take it. They've got picks next year if it comes to that. At 5, my hometown Tennessee Titans, Reuben Bain Jr., really good edge rusher from Miami. They're still going strong. Speaking of Miami, Cece in there. And Francis, now we go to the Cards. I've had that matched up for a while. Cardinals they're going to need a quarterback though. Kyler Murray's a question mark where he's going to be next year, but it probably won't be Arizona, as I understand it. At 7, the Commanders. Carnell Tate, really good wide receiver, Ohio State. Now, he's not going to get like blazing speed at the combine, but the guy, you give him 3 seconds, and he can get open, unlike any other receiver in college football. And that's available because the way the NFL is now, you're trying to pass as quickly as you can before your quarterback can just blast it. At 8, Keldrick Falk, really good edge rusher from Auburn, go to the Saints. At 9, I've had Caleb Downs to the Bengals, matched up for a while. Downs is a remarkable talent. There hasn't been a top 10 safety in a while in the draft. So we'll see if Downs is the first, going back to 2016. It's been a while. Downs is a special talent, though. At 10, Miami Dolphins, Jermon McCoy. Now, I got it before. Whenever I finally lock it in April in my draft, McCoy better run a very fast 40. Because I got burned last year. Going out thinking Will Johnson from Michigan and Siobhan Revelle from East Carolina are going to be first rounders as corners, because that's what the data, because it's not me evaluating. It's strictly analytical. It's been like that for me since the pandemic. And related, I got a lot better when I started not trying to play scout. I can do a lot of things, but I can't out-scout the real scouts. Now I analyze, and it works a lot better. So McCoy, though, for now, we got him up here. I don't know if he'll be the first corner taken. We'll see. He tore his ACL on one of his knees in January. He didn't play this season. He's going to the NFL, so he's one of those that's in there as well. Mansour Delani from Virginia Tech to LSU. I've got him going to the Rams at 11. I like that matchup a lot. the need position for the Rams. The Chiefs at 12. How about needs? They've got Travis Kelce in the twilight of his career. If they get Kenyon Sadiq, and who knows with these Oregon players, it's different because of that money, that Phil Knight money there. The NIL, it's a different level. I mean, it really is a different level. But Sadiq, if he comes out, if there's going to be a first-round tight end, it would probably be him. It would fill a need for the Chiefs, who are not having a good season for the first time in a while. At 12. 13, Dallas Cowboys, David Bailey. Really good edge rusher from Texas Tech. 14, the Ravens, Peter Woods. Some have Woods higher. I just couldn't find a spot that made sense as far as pressing team needs. And that might change here between now and April, but for now, Woods would be a bargain pickup for the Ravens at 14. 15, Minnesota Vikings, Jeremiah Love. Some have Love as the number 1 overall player. I've got Minnesota taking him at 15. 16, Tampa Bay Bucks. It's a different era with running backs. The days of 3 running backs being the first 5 players taken, like we had, was it 2005? Cadillac Williams was a different era. So Love going to the Vikings there at 16. The Bucks, they could use linebacker, use an edge. And with Mateo, whether he's going to go back to Oregon or come to the NFL, who knows with that money. It's different with Oregon. Uwagalele is just a really, really good edge rusher. So he'll be in the mix for the first round for sure, from the looks of it at least, if he does declare. At 17, the Lions, Zion Young, edge rusher from Missouri. Bit of a riser. Last couple months, he's been moving up boards. Maybe that's a bit high for him, but that's what I've got for the Lions at 17. At 18, New York Jets, Caleb Banks. Didn't play a whole lot this season. Injured. But a physical freak. He's going to impress people. There's some, like, we'll get to Proctor in a second. Some of these guys, just massive human beings. It's remarkable what they can do. It's special talents. There's a reason these guys get the special attention. Physically, there are very few people you'll know in real life that are that size, let alone that athletic. And he's got it both. Sonny Styles, linebacker, number 19 to the Panthers. I think there's a mid to late first round run you're going to get as far as the linebackers go. That aside from Reese, who's basically a one of one because of his freakish abilities and unique skill set. Jeremy Bernard of the Pittsburgh Steelers at 20. He's had a fantastic year with the Alabama Crimson Tide. Made a really good decision to go back to college for the 2025 season. It's paid off for both him and for Alabama. Still in the mix in the playoff. At 21, Dallas Cowboys, C.J. Allen, linebacker from Georgia. Let's talk about that linebacker run. It's going to happen in this range in all likelihood. At 22, the Eagles, Colton Hood. Stepped up with McCoy injured with the Vols. And so Hood, I've got him going to the Eagles at 22. Texans at 23. Vega, Ione, the really good inside offensive lineman that can play tackle if you need him to. Versatile. Texans are going to need some help in that offensive line. And so that makes a lot of sense from a need and positional standpoint. 24, the Bills. So you got Chris Bell injured, Louisville receiver. Unfortunately, with a torn ACL, so that's going to change some things with the receivers. But Denzel Boston's high up there on the boards. And he'd be a good fit with the Bills at 24. 25, the Chargers. Caleb Lomu. He had 2 years of eligibility remaining, and he chose to go to the NFL. But it's different for non-quarterbacks, man. Especially linemen. Every year you play in the NFL, especially on the other side of 30, I mean, the physical toll it takes. They try to downplay it, but anyway, point is Lomu with 2 years of eligibility still nonetheless decided to go pro. I've got to go to the Chargers at 25. At 26, talking about freakish, large human beings. Proctor, even by offensive tackle standards, dude's huge. But I'm going to the 49ers there at 26. My voice started struggling. 27, the Browns. I'm going with Chris Brazell the second. Tennessee Vols. Another guy that came back that could have gone to the pros last year, didn't. And it worked out well for him. 28, the linebacker run continues. Anthony Hill Jr. from Texas going to the Rams. At 29, the Bears. L.T. Overton. Very versatile lineman. You can make him an edge. You can make him defensive lineman. Like tackle, kick him inside, move him around a bit. He's a really good pass rusher, and like all the defensive linemen up here, he's going to get consideration because of that. At 30, the Patriots. T.J. Parker, edge rusher from Clemson. We know for sure he's going in the draft. 31, Amari Washington to the Denver Broncos. Very good defensive tackle from Oregon. And then 32, Seattle Seahawks. Avion Terrell, corner from Clemson. There's the list. My voice lasted. And we made it.